Hey guys, Yocom here. So I'm back in the wonderful state of Arizona. I'm going to talk to my friend Nick here at 1UP Games to see what makes him tick, what he loves about the industry, and what he hopes for the future. Let's check it out.
So Nick, tell me about your gaming history and when you started playing games.
I mean, I'm a product of the 80s. So I started because my dad had an Atari 2600. Dad was my hero. He would play stuff like Kaboom. Probably the first game I can ever remember was Kaboom. But I don't really remember falling in love with games until NES came out. I was born in 85. I think we were like, it was like 89 by the time we got our NES. And it's like any kid, man. That was so fun. But as far as collecting, again, it's just my dad. He came home one day from a garage sale, had a whole bunch of old games. It was like 1999. I was in high school, and yeah, he just said, like, right down the street, dude. This guy's got NES stuff too. And I never stopped. Picked up a bunch of stuff that day, and I've been collecting since, man. Well, until now. Don't need to collect anymore.
Out of all the consoles since you've been gaming, what would you say is your favorite console?
Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
So, like, hands down, it's probably not even a close second. If there had to be a close second, it'd probably be original NES. It's not the coolest answer. I mean, there's like other people who say like Sega Saturn and shit, but it's just Super Nintendo just had everything. It had action RPGs, it had first-person shooters, it's got NBA Jam. Zombies Ate My Neighbors is probably my favorite game of all time. Super Mario World, Yoshi, the Cape, it's just so good. Super Metroid, I could go on and on and on. I mean, it's not one of those consoles, like right now N64 is the hotness. But there's like 10 games on the N64, that's it. Like if it's not Mario, if it's not GoldenEye, no one gives two shits. But the Super Nintendo, there's like 80 games worth owning on that console. It's so good, so good.
How long have you been in the video game business?
We've been open now for 5 years. I never thought I'd sell my collection, like ever. I met a guy, another collector who had a bunch of stuff on Craigslist. It was like the second time I'd ever like contacted anybody on Craigslist because I like to go to garage sales. I like to find my shit. I always felt like Indiana Jones. We had going around, call it plastic gold instead of gold. But when I met him, he had so much stuff. Tim, my business partner, it was like 3 times the amount of stuff, and he had only been collecting for a few years. But his goal was to open up a store. We started hanging out. He was the dopest dude. I'm a dance instructor. That's what I've been for 15 years. I just love people. He was a nice dude. I like working with people. I hurt my knee, and it all worked out. I was like, well, dude, why don't we just open up a store? You want to open up a store? You got enough shit. Why don't we just do it? And he was like, hesitant. He's a shy guy, if you've ever met Tim, the other owner. And I just don't care. Like, I don't care. If we fail at opening up a store, like, you fail at opening up a store. Go back to your old job. And yeah, no, 15 months after we met, we opened up day one. But never, I ever thought I'd sell my stuff. And when you like open up the day one, because here's the thing too, I've met now a lot of store owners that still collect, but they own a store. And I don't know how they do that without like going crazy. And I felt like if my customers found out I was still collecting, they would kind of like resent me.
Kind of feel like you're taking all the good stuff.
You know, cherry pick everything, man. And I bet there's people who open up a game store thinking that. Like, I don't have to go out. They're gonna do the work for me. They're gonna bring the stuff to me every day. Oh, I don't have that. I need that N64 game, that Clay Fighter N64 rare game. I'll take this one. The next one that comes in, you might not even sell that one because you might be looking for a label upgrade. No, I feel like you have to cut ties. My way is not the right way. It's just, I think it benefits your customers and you get to use your store as like your revolving collection. It's the best of both worlds. It's not like filling up my house anymore, and I get to just take a game home, I get to play it, and then I get to bring it back. And then I still get to stare at it while it's here. So it's awesome. I don't know how people like at GameStop don't enjoy their job. This is the most fun you can have, dude. It's like getting paid to say balls and shit, talk about Marvel movies, and yeah, just have fun.
So, what is your favorite game that you, if you could, have everybody play?
Oh, good question. It'd be Zombies Ate My Neighbors.
Mm-hmm.
Zombies Ate My Neighbors for the Super Nintendo is my all-time favorite video game. I freaking love it. I've been saying if you're gonna put a game on the Switch as far as like an HD remaster, it's Konami and LucasArts back in the day coming together and just making one of the best two-player experiences, I think. So Zombies Ate My Neighbors, if you haven't played that game, I'd pick it up. Don't pick it up so you can jack up the price. Pick it up to freaking play it, because it's an awesome game. It's hard though. It's got 48 levels. Yeah, it's pretty tough.
So aside from that being your all-time favorite game,
Yeah.
is there a game in particular that holds the most sentimental value to you?
Ooh, another good question. Yes, it would probably be Contra on the NES, because outside of Mario Brothers Duck Hunt, that's the first game I ever played. And this is kind of corny, but I felt like that game and then Batman on the NES, because that was the next game that we got after getting the NES. Those games were so ridiculously hard that I feel like it almost shaped a part of my personality for my entire life. I'm competitive. I like to win. But with NES, if you were training as a video game player on an NES was your first console, you got better by constantly dying, by always failing. So I learned that like failure is a part of the process. You have to lose, constantly die to get inches further. And then eventually you're like, oh man, why was I dying on that first level? You just get better. When you beat an old game, there was like that sense of, dude, like if I was a little kid, I would have been smoking a cigarette after every game I was beating. Like, beat this bitch. You beat Castlevania, you know what's up. You know, you beat Ninja Gaiden, you know what's up. Those are tough games to beat. Or you get into some weird shit, like, cause that's a cool thing too about, as a collector, I was going to conventions and stuff like all the time. I was watching like Angry Video Game Nerd, Pat the NES Punk, Game Chasers, Metal Jesus Rocks Crew to learn about as much of this stuff that I'd never heard about. And I did that for like 15 years thinking you know a lot of stuff. And what I've learned is I don't know shit. I learned so much from the customers. People trade in stuff you've never seen before. Because we've had people, we have a lot of customers that go like, what's the rarest thing you've ever seen? And I'm like, well, that question's hard to answer because do you go rarity based off of value of the game? Because if that's so, then it would be Little Samson complete in box for the NES. We've had like an immaculate version that when we even sold it, the guy got it graded, like water graded, and it was like a 9.3. I think he's trying to sell it for like $11,000 right now, dude. Wow. I hated having that game. Like, hated it. I just don't like, every time you had to open that game up to show somebody, like the manual, it was like depreciating the value. And I didn't feel like it was a game. It felt like it was a money sign. And you can get into this to hopefully try to make money if that's your goal, cool. But you open up a game store to have a good time.
Hey guys, Future Yocom here. I really hope that you enjoyed the first part of the interview with Nick at One Up Games. It was such a blast to really talk with him, get to know him a little bit more, and really hear him out on where he's come from in gaming, how the shop started. And then in the second part of this interview, I start asking him what he hopes for in the future of gaming stores, the gaming industry, and really the community of people. He is a huge proponent of brick and mortar stores. He wants people to get off their butts, get in their cars, go to a game store, and really talk to the people at the game store and build a relationship with other people in the store. Like, that's something we don't see a whole lot of, especially like with everybody wanting to buy digital copies of games. It's so easy to buy stuff off of Amazon, or I know for me personally, it's easy to go to Walmart because their AAA titles tend to be $10 cheaper. But really hearing Nick out and what he hopes for the future, it inspires me. And you know, I wouldn't say that it inspires me to, you know, go out and open my own game store. I don't want to do that because I love collecting, and I totally agree with what Nick says about cutting ties with collecting if you're going to open a game store. And so, nonetheless, I really hope that you guys enjoyed this, that you look forward to the second part of the interview and really hearing him out on what he desires and really hearing more and seeing more of his passion for the industry, just like I did.
All right, guys, I'll see you later.